mansion, Yuri peeked at his maid, believing that he had hired a maid. She was hardworking and proper, but he was so curious about her that he couldn't focus on his stuff. Something was suspicious. It was suspicious that such a fancy maid would come to work at such a tiny old mansion. The other day, she was in the study muttering curses or something as she read some thick suspicious book. Also, as she had purple eyes that seemed to draw him in, they were suspicious. As the maid came into the study room, she came in to offer him some herb tea, for which he thanked her too, and he believed that every move she made was suspicious. She didn't say much, so he didn't know what she was thinking. Yuri looked at the maid with a puzzled expression as she smiled down at him. He couldn't understand why he had hired such a suspicious maid. His parents had passed away in a car accident, making him the master of the mansion. However, the inheritance wasn't much, so he decided to let go of all the servants. Despite objections from his relatives, he chose to live alone and learn to manage everything himself. Attempting to do chores like making breakfast, doing laundry, and cleaning, Yuri failed miserably. Tired and frustrated, he questioned how difficult life could be without servants. One day, as he had a simple lunch, he heard a voice and discovered a girl maid in his house. Yuri felt suspicious and questioned her identity. The maid, apologizing for coming late at night, asked if Yuri could hire her without payment. Yuri, feeling uneasy, declined, stating he wasn't wealthy and had dismissed all his servants. The maid, not seeking payment, only wanted to serve as a living maid, emphasizing the inconvenience of Yuri living alone. Though hesitant, Yuri accepted her offer, mesmerized by her purple eyes. In the present, Yuri reflected on whether he should have said no. Despite his suspicions, the maid proved to be different from previous ones. Her meals were delicious, her cleaning made the place sparkle, and his clothes smelled nice after she washed them. Yuri couldn't shake the feeling that he was under a spell. In a moment of realization, he jokingly accused her of being a sorcerer. With her delicious food, spotless rooms, and captivating eyes. To his surprise, the maid played along, claiming to be a sorcerer who bewitched him with her eyes. As Yuri continued to observe the maid, he became more suspicious. He confronted her in the garden, asking about her intentions. The maid, trying to lighten the mood, mentioned cooking eggplant and oyakodo. Yuri was initially pleased but soon questioned why she had come to the mansion. The maid's response, claiming to find Yuri adorable and unable to contain her smile, left him bewildered. Yuri insisted that her charm didn't fool him, and he wanted to know her true motives. The maid, embarrassed, declared it a secret. Yuri's uneasy feelings extended to a nightmare where the maid, whom he believed to be a sorcerer, gave him a strange item. Disturbed, he woke up screaming. The next morning, at breakfast, Yuri noticed a strange dish he had dreamt about. Suspicious, he questioned the maid about what she had done in the kitchen at night. To his surprise, she confessed to putting a love potion in the dish to make him fall in love with her. Yuri, realizing the effects of the potion explained his feelings, demanded no more love potions. In an alley, Yuri confronted the maid, realizing she knew a lot about him, but he knew little about her. The maid addressed him as Master Yuri, which surprised him. When questioned, she justified it as normal for a maid to address her master by name. Yuri felt uneasy, thinking it sounded like they were married, like his parents who were deeply in love. The maid embarrassed and excused herself, claiming she had to go shopping. Yuri thought that she was indeed suspicious and she was hiding something. He decided to know more about her, as he got to know in the register that her name was Lilith, and at least he knew something about her at night at the dinner. He believed that when she would call him by his name, he too will call her, which will indeed surprise her. The maid said that dinner tonight would be cold tomato pasta and summer vegetable soup and called him by the name of the young master, which surprised Yuri, who asked why he wasn't using his name. For Lilith asked if would he like her to call him by his name so often, to which he agreed, as she said they would end up becoming close. Yuri said that merely saying one's name wouldn't make someone closer, as his parents were madly in love, but that was because they understood each other. However, he didn't know the first thing about her, which greatly saddened Lilith. Yuri said that so she can tell her master more about herself, and called her name Lilith, which made her happy. Yuri said that it's not like he trusts her, and he is going to grow up as soon as he can and expose who she is. For she said that he understands it at night, as Lilith is seen holding a picture of Yuri as she got a letter in the past, and she hurriedly arrived at the mansion. As Lilith did the house chores and made breakfast for Yuri, she woke him up, served him his clothing, and said she would be waiting downstairs for breakfast. Seeing the sparkly clothes, Yuri became even more suspicious. He had gotten used to living with Lilith, but something still seemed suspicious about her. During breakfast, he took on the meal and complimented her for the delicious food. Meanwhile, suddenly they heard the bell ringing. Yuri questioned who would be so early in the morning, and they found a gaming console there, always out of stock. Yuri realized there were new clothes, the pants from that morning, and the game console. He wondered why she suddenly gave him all kinds of stuff, finding it suspicious. He questioned what she was after, to which she answered that, as a maid, she did it. Yuri said that if she was trying to control him by giving him stuff, she answered it was correct, as she aimed to tame him and make him hers. This greatly embarrassed Yuri, stating she was never going to tame him as he wouldn't do what she pleased. He didn't need to be baited with things to know she was attractive, and he shouldn't be underestimated just because he was a child. He declared he would make her his, greatly embarrassing Lilith. The scene shifted to the study, where Lilith pestered Yuri for tea and pastries. He angrily told her to shut up, questioning what she was trying to accomplish by interfering with his study. She apologized, saying she wanted to make herself as useful to him as possible. Yuri stated she would distract him either way, and she might as well stay next to him. Lilith happily stayed beside him, excusing that it was not lonely without him. After some time, as Yuri finished his tea, he questioned where Lilith had been. Seeing Lilith doing something strange and moving towards the backyard, he secretly followed her. He found her petting a white cat, amazed that she could smile like that. Lilith noticed him and said the kitty was calm and friendly, suggesting Yuri pet him too. Yuri denied it, stating he was just scared of cats and she was even cuter. Yuri told her he couldn't help but admire how beautifully she petted the cat. Yuri wanted to get over his fear of cats, and Lilith offered to help. Yuri insisted he was the master of the mansion and would do it himself. Lilith understood and left him, telling him to let her know if he needed anything else. Yuri took a plan to play with the cat, but it jumped on him. He tried repeatedly to befriend the white cat. After some time, Lilith appeared from behind, providing cat food and asking him to feed it as she needed to go shopping. Yuri fed the cat, slowly approached, and wondered if he could touch it now. A stray cat appeared, shocking Yuri, but he bravely stood in front of the white cat to protect it. The stray cat moved away, and Yuri fell, stating it was scary but getting licked by the white cat. As Lilith returned from the shop, she saw the white cat having fun with Yuri, who told her he could touch cats now. Lilith praised his improvement in such a short time, and Yuri declared it was expected as he was the master of the mansion, playing with the cat. As Lilith grew desperate and blubbered, asking if Yuri would like to pet her too, she sat down but quickly realized it might not be good for him. She complimented the cat, expressing surprise that she was getting patted by the young master. To Lilith's embarrassment, Yuri petted her too, making her blush. She excused herself, saying she had to move inside to make lunch, and accidentally dropped a photo. Surprised, Yuri questioned her about the photo. Lilith explained that it was something she secretly kept with her so she could always see her adorable master. Yuri suggested she look at the real thing, but Lilith slowly ran away, leaving Yuri puzzled and misunderstanding it as something suspicious. The scene shifted as Yuri made a drawing of purple roses. Lilith entered, mentioning that the morning glory bloomed beautifully. Yuri shared that he had been watering it every day. As she tried to peek into his drawing, Yuri refused to show her and directed her to the dining room for lunch. Yuri quickly devoured his meal, suspecting there must be some secret. He asked Lilith to teach him how to cook, expressing his desire to learn. Lilith hesitated but asked if he wanted her to teach him hand by hand and step by step. Yuri agreed, expressing his admiration for her cooking and revealing his intention to marry her, embarrassing Lilith. In the kitchen, Yuri struggled with cutting vegetables, and Lilith helped him diligently. At night, Yuri commented that his first attempt wasn't too bad. As he was about to eat, he wondered if Lilith had put anything suspicious in it. Lilith assured him it was delicious, but Yuri sensed it tasted different. Lilith admitted she might have forgotten a secret ingredient: her love for her young master. Yuri recognized the love in the dish, realizing that Lilith's care extended to keeping the mansion clean and fixing his torn clothes. He marveled at her constant love and questioned how she could have so much love all the time, embarrassing Lilith, who excused it as a secret. As Yuri settled on his bed and bid farewell to Lilith, he wondered if she worked before he woke up and after he went to sleep. He found it suspicious and imagined she must be doing something strange while he slept, creating some mysterious things. However, it turned out to be all part of his dream. As Lilith entered his room, sat behind him, and touched his forehead. In his dream blur, Yuri questioned why Lilith always went to sleep after him. Lilith revealed she did it to sneak a look at his endearing face when he was asleep. The cat came in to lick Yuri's face, and Lilith moved out of the room, bidding him good night. In the morning, Lilith asked Yuri if he had everything, and he said he was good. She asked again, but Yuri repeated that he didn't need her to see him out. Lilith was concerned about the dangers, but Yuri reassured her and told her to watch the house. Before leaving, Lilith fixed his tie, shoelaces, and hair, noticing Yuri's gaze. She asked why he seemed reluctant to go to school, and Yuri denied any romantic feelings, saying it's just a routine like a married couple. Yuri said goodbye and went to school. At the school gates, a big car arrived, and a butler helped a girl named Tsukasa. Tsukasa noticed Yuri and heard her butler mention that his parents passed away. In the classroom, rumors circulated about Yuri's parents and servants. Next to Yuri, Tsukasa remembered meeting him at a party and greeted him to offer support. At home, Lilith wondered if Yuri's reluctance to let her accompany him was due to a lack of trust. She decided to stop moping and work hard to gain his acceptance. On her way to pick up Yuri, Lilith thought about the dinner menu. Knowing Yuri might be upset but understanding her duties as his maid, Fujisaki's car approached, and she recognized Lilith. After school, Yuri thought about going home alone but was surprised to see Lilith waiting. He was frustrated that she ignored his request not to visit his school. Unaware of Tsukasa hiding behind a tree, Yuri expressed annoyance. Lilith and Yuri's conversation puzzled Tsukasa, who suspected a forbidden romance. Yuri's comment about not wanting others to see Lilith fueled Tsukasa's embarrassment. Yuri confessed thinking about Lilith all day and wanting to spend every moment with her. Caught up in her imagination, Tsukasa felt torn between conflicting feelings. She acknowledged societal taboos but found the situation passionate. As Yuri continued expressing his desire to be with Lilith all the time, Tsukasa became increasingly flustered. Tsukasa asked why her heart was throbbing, as she thought that Yuri still had his eyes. But his eyes when he looked at that maid were more honest, and she thought she was about to meddle, but she would like to behold them for a while longer. As Fujisaki approached her from behind and it scared Tsukasa. She asked what she was doing here, for which Tsukasa said that she could explain. As Lilith approached him and said that it had been a while and recognized the girl as Ganjan Tsukasa, she thanked her for taking care of Yuri and asked if she could count on her to continue being his friend, to which she agreed to and said that she would look forward to it. As Lilith and Yuri departed, Tsukasa told Fujisaki that Lilith was a lovely person in her dress too and joked about Fujisaki wearing it, to which she answered that if she must do that, she would quit. As Lilith asked Yuri about the day, he answered that it was fun and lunch was delicious too, and complimented her cooking. Lilith told him that they would be having Hamburg steaks for dinner tonight. The next day, as Lilith went shopping, she left her mobile at home. As Yuri came home from school and realized that Lilith was not at home, he believed that she must be hiding and screamed that there was no point in trying to surprise him and come out. As he felt odd, he questioned where she had gone. Yuri decided that he was going to enjoy being alone until she got home. At the market, Lilith thought about what she should make for dinner, and she decided to take fish, as sori is the fish to have in the fall. As she asked for it, the keeper told her that he was fresh out of it, as it's hard to come by lately and it sells out quickly. As she decided to check out other shops, she was unable to find it, and she thought maybe she should give up and make something else today. But she decided that she wanted the young master to have a delicious meal and she decided to check the next town. At home, as Yuri was having fun, he noticed that Lilith was taking a while and she could at least contact him if going to be late. Lonely Yuri questioned whether could it be something other than shopping or if she was out of business and she couldn't tell him. She always leaves a note when she goes out, but she didn't leave one today. As he checked the diary to check the phone number to call her and he found out that she had left her cell phone at home. At the town, Lilith finally found the sori, but she thought that it's gotten pretty late, and she tried to call him but found out that she left it at home and she hurried home. At home, Yuri believed that it was the first time he had gone alone so late since Lilith came along. When he heard a voice, he moved out to find that it was the cat, and Lilith got late due to the delay caused by train inspections. Meanwhile, Fujisaki came out of a mall because of the demand of Tsukasa and she spotted Lilith. At home, Yuri believed that she just showed up one day out of nowhere and he shouldn't be surprised if she leaves suddenly. He is better off without that suspicious maid anyway. As Lilith thanked Fujisaki for her help, she said he just happened to be in the area and asked her what she was doing there, to which she answered that shopping for dinner. Fujisaki asked if couldn't she have bought it at your local shops and if she couldn't find the ingredients she needed. Fujisaki asked when she came here, to which she answered last month, and Fujisaki asked if she was due she wanted to be back here, to which she said yes. As she reached home, she apologized to Yuri for being late, for which he asked if she had cast a curse on him, a curse to make him sad when she wasn't there. He wasn't like this before and he told her even when the mansion was so empty, so dark, even when he was alone. But now he feels so lonely without her, and questions what if she didn't come, as he kept thinking about her even more than ever as he cried down. He told her that with such a curse he couldn't live without her, for which she took his hand and told him that she did carry a curse in him so that he would become lonely and he did well. Yuri embarrassingly ordered her not to go missing like this ever again, which she agreed to. Lilith changed her attire in the room, wearing a new dress. She hoped that the young master would notice her. As the scene shifted, Lilith cleaned down the windows and Yuri peeked towards her. She thought that she wanted the young master to grow up healthy, both physically and emotionally. That's why she had come to this mansion. It was, but he was so suspicious of her and she couldn't blame him as she had just barged in. But at this rate, she was going to have a negative influence on him. For now, to grow up healthy, she needed to get closer to him, and watching over the young master was her duty as a maid and a grown-up. As she continuously followed the young master, Yuri noticed her following. He screamed at her, asking what she had been doing all this time and why she was monitoring him. She dodged the question by saying that he was always watching her too. He answered that she was looking for his weakness, wasn't she? As Yuri tried to run away and Lilith tried to stop him, she fumbled on her foot and was about to fall. Yuri came forward to save her. As Lilith fell on Yuri, a lewd incident took place. Yuri stood up, saying that he wouldn't run away, and he wouldn't let her go, which embarrassed her. After some time, as Lilith cleaned the house, she thought that she had been trying to get closer to him, but she had just landed on top of him instead. As Yuri spoke to her, she thought that she had to redeem herself by being more grown-up and maid-like. She sighed and asked Yuri, who was peeking at her, if he didn't get bored watching her so much, trying to amaze him. Yuri said that it had become suspicious and that she was beautiful. No matter what she was doing, he wouldn't get bored. He could watch her for hours and hours, wishing he could watch her for the whole life. Lilith got embarrassed and moved out, sighing, thinking that he was so honest, and she couldn't behave like a well-composed adult. She decided that next time, she would do it properly. As the scene shifted to the garden, Lilith took care of the clothes, and Yuri peeked towards her. She believed that first, she needed to get his guard down. For that, she was going to demonstrate that she was a dependable, grown-up maid. She approached and told him that she knew about his feelings. But to her surprise, Yuri screamed that it was suspicious. She was shocked, thinking that she was just trying to tell him that she understood him. But to her surprise, Yuri said that if she knew that he wanted to get to know her better and that she was all he thought about. Lilith got embarrassed, and Yuri said that it was suspicious. The scene shifted to the room where Lilith was depressed. She just wanted to get closer to the young master, yet she was getting nowhere. It's not that he hated her, she was sure about it, but he was never going to trust her if this kept up. As she sat down, she thought that there had to be a way to gain his trust and become closer to him. The scene shifted as Lilith requested Yuri, saying that they could play, as they lived in the same place. She thought that playing was surely the best way to relate to each other. But to her surprise, Yuri said that they were already having plenty of fun and that he was having fun whenever she was around. He asked if this was part of her trap. Realizing that he had confused himself with his own words, Yuri said that he was sure they would understand if they played together, and he suggested playing his favorite game, chess. However, she noticed Yuri was currently staring at her. Yuri shared that chess was the one game his father had taught him. His parents were very kind but always busy, rarely at home. He mentioned how happy he was whenever they were around. Lilith stood up, expressing that she was there and would play with him whenever he liked. Yuri told her he would beat her in no time. Lilith realized she might be getting too anxious and decided to take things little by little to make the young master smile more. The next day, Lilith was cleaning the house, thinking of making some pudding for Yuri. As she saw Yuri coming into the house acting strangely, she became greatly worried. She prepared the pudding, hoping it would cheer him up, but he seemed down. Lilith knocked on Yuri's door and offered him some pudding. To her surprise, Yuri gladly took it and closed his room. Lilith thought the young master wasn't suspicious of her, and it was a good thing. She followed him to her room, wondering if Yuri had lost interest in her, but he called on her and handed her a letter, which she misunderstood as a dismissal note. As Lilith read the letter, she learned about an open house day at Yuri's school. Yuri explained that servants often attended, but he didn't want others to meet Lilith, finding her suspicious. He hoped she would come but wasn't forcing her. Lilith thought Yuri had lost interest, but he clarified he had been thinking about how to get her to come because she was all he could think about. The next day, Yuri mentioned that both teachers and parents at his school were strict, and he wanted Lilith to be strict with him, referring to her attire. Lilith suggested dressing up fancy, but Yuri objected, fearing she'd make the whole class obsessed with her, potentially causing a school scandal. Lilith felt embarrassed but agreed to come to the open house in normal clothing. The following day, Lilith changed into several dresses but couldn't decide. At the school, Yuri hoped Lilith wouldn't miss it due to lacking appropriate clothes. He was glad he informed her about the open house. In class, Yuri heard about his parents coming, but when he turned to look for Lilith, he couldn't spot her. He questioned why he was hoping she would come, thinking she was too suspicious. However, Lilith arrived later, and Fujisaki gave her a dress. After school, Lilith apologized for arriving late, acknowledging Yuri's hard work that day. She noticed Yuri was not looking at her, and he quickly thanked her for coming, expressing how happy it made him. Lilith thanked him in return. As Yuri dashed back and forth in the alley, Lilith inquired about his activities. He explained that he was preparing for the upcoming sports day, utilizing the hallways for race practice. Lilith remarked on his energetic movements, finding them surprising and somewhat suspicious. Yuri baffled screamed if she is the one to talk. Lilith expressed a desire to assist him, attempting to uplift his spirits. Perplexed by her sudden interest, Lilith questioned why he wasn't practicing with her. He confessed that she was so adorable that he couldn't concentrate, believing that with her support, he could secure victory. However, he insisted her to refrain from showing up on the actual day to avoid revealing her cuteness to others. But as Yuri hesitantly suggested she attend to cheer him on, Lilith gladly agreed. The next day, Lilith arrived at Yuri's school to pick him up, despite his repeated assertions that it wasn't necessary. The conversation was inadvertently overheard by Tsukasa. who remarked on Yuri and the maid always being nice. Fujisaki, approaching from behind, chided Tsukasa for eavesdropping and urged her to return to reality. Despite Fujisaki's admonition, Tsukasa found their relationship intriguing and wished for a similarly thrilling experience. Back at Yuri's home, he complimented Lilith on the snacks, questioning if she made them herself. As they enjoyed the treats, Lilith revealed her plan to assist Yuri in preparing for the summer sports day. She had researched and devised a training plan to be implemented daily until Yuri was satisfied. Yuri, appreciating her dedication, expressed his excitement for the upcoming sports day and thanked her. As tomorrow, Yuri tried to throw the ball upward, and Lilith instructed her about throwing it upward, making a shot in basketball, and aiming for the bucket as Yuri tried to throw the ball. A strange cat came up over it and trampled it. As for that next exercise is tug of war. Yuri tried to do his best but lost his grip to fell. Lilith tried to cheer him up by saying that he wouldn't need to practice if he had mastered it from the beginning, so he would be alright, and directed her to move on to the final training of the day, as he had to race to the line as she cheered him up. Yuri said while running that he wanted to impress her at the end of the day as he barely reached the line. The strange cat again jumped over his head and made him fall. At night, exhausted from the day's training, Yuri praised Lilith for her massage skills, finding them almost magical. Lilith, understanding the sensation, shared a moment of connection with him. The scene shifted to Tsukasa's home, where she came into Fujisaki's company. Tsukasa, upset about her parents' inability to attend the sports day, was comforted by Fujisaki's assurance that she wouldn't be alone as she would be there to cheer her up. On the day of the sports day, Lilith bid farewell to Yuri, who reminded her to dress comfortably for the occasion. As Yuri confidently participated in the tug of war, Tsukasa observed his competitive spirit, acknowledging his newfound determination. Some classmates attempted to belittle Yuri, but he stood his ground. Tsukasa, impressed by Yuri's resolve, admitted to never having seen him so fiercely competitive. Lilith, cheering from the sidelines, promised a reward for Yuri after the victory. Tsukasa, suspicious of the reward, approached Yuri after Yuri's team win the game, and when Tsukasa asked about the reward, Yuri expressed his simple desire to win and witnessed Lilith's smile. As Lilith joined them, celebrating the red team's victory, Tsukasa couldn't help but find the scene too beautiful for her eyes. As the scene shifted towards a garden where Tsukasa, Yuri, and the servants were having their lunch, Fujisaki apologized to them for intruding, for which Lilith said that they weren't doing anything as the more the merrier at the table, as Lilith told Tsukasa that she should eat lots so she could do well in the afternoon too as Yuri ate the bread. Tsukasa complimented Lilith for her good cooking, but Yuri seemed to be a bit down as Lilith asked for it. For him being down, Yuri asked was it an inconvenience for her coming to the open house and to the sports day and getting up so early to make lunch, for which she denied, saying that she was, in fact, happy to do it. Yuri asked if she was good at running as parents and guardians were directed to take part in the race. Lilith thought that she had to do something instead of Yuri's parents, and she thought that she was so happy that her young master depended on her these days that she felt like she will end up making a mistake as the sound is made. She decided that she is just a hired maid and she wants to assist his young master as much as she can, and that's all she needs as he gives her best, and Yuri cheered her up in the end. Lilith took the first place. Yuri approached her, saying she was too good. Lilith said that she did her best as the classmates from before came in, saying that he got her maid first place and it was unfair, and how could his maid earn first place in the race for parents and guardians, for which Lilith gets a bit sad, but Yuri defends her by saying that Lilith is his precious family member, which greatly touched Lilith as the classmates disperse. Lilith thanked Yuri and asked if he was alright by calling her family, to which he answered that she, who is so cute and makes such good food, who is suspicious and who can do anything, is obviously more than a usual maid, and she was shining above everyone else back there too, and when she is happy he is happy too, and when he sees her sad he just tangles up. It's because she is his family, as they say that she doesn't think that quite it, for which Yuri asks if she is controlling his mind so he feels that way, and it's kind of suspicious. While shopping, Lilith found some good-looking cabbage at an affordable price and decided to make cream chicken with carrots for the day. As she strolled through the market, she overheard a child talking to their mother, triggering a memory of Yuri declaring her a precious family member. The clouds hinted at an upcoming rain. Back at home, Yuri noticed the rain and Lilith's absence. Suddenly, a drenched Lilith appeared, prompting Yuri to fetch a towel and insist she take a bath to avoid catching a cold. Playfully, Lilith suggested they bathe together, leading Yuri to jokingly decline, citing the need to wait until they were married, much to her impatience. The next day, Lilith, still flushed, served tea, accidentally adding salt. Apologizing, she promised to remake it quickly. Yuri sensed something amiss. Lilith, who rarely made mistakes, seemed off. A book falling on her face confirmed his suspicions. Concerned, Yuri approached her and inquired about her well-being. Lilith, with a nosebleed, attempted to downplay it. As she headed to the laundry, Lilith stumbled, and Yuri rushed to her aid. Dizzy and unsteady, Lilith admitted feeling off. Yuri, checking her temperature, realized she had a fever. Concerned, he pondered whether to cool her forehead. offer warm food, or call a doctor. Lilith, waking up, insisted on continuing work, displaying signs of weakness. Yuri stopped her, but Lilith, emotionally, expressed concern about being a burden as a maid. Despite her attempt to leave, Yuri reassured her, offering a supporting hand and embracing her. The following day, Lilith recovered, and Yuri inquired about her health. Lilith apologized for the previous night, but Yuri assured her it was fine, emphasizing that her illness affected him too. Embarrassed, Lilith asked Yuri to keep an eye on her and consider visiting the doctor. While cleaning windows, Yuri surprised Lilith by assisting her, explaining he wanted to spend time together and help with chores. Lilith, embarrassed, suggested he rest, but Yuri insisted on working together, expressing his desire to be with her and share the workload, especially after her recent illness. Walking through the alley, Yuri felt a chill, so Lilith hurried to get a blanket. Yuri wondered why she always wore that dress, finding it suspicious. He asked why she exposed herself like that, and Lilith said it was to learn about womanly charms. Yuri gave her his blanket, telling her to take care and not catch a cold. Lilith touched and muttered that it wasn't just about getting cold. Yuri questioned her, and Lilith said it was nothing, urging him to focus on cleaning. Yuri found it suspicious. In their room, Yuri told Lilith he trusted her, and she assured him she'd finished the costume for the Halloween party. Yuri was excited to surprise Tsukasa. Lilith praised the growing friendship between Yuri and Tsukasa and shared that she used to do a lot at her previous mansion. Yuri asked about the stone's color, and Lilith said it should be her favorite. Yuri agreed, and when Tsukasa invited Lilith to the party, Yuri was thrilled. Lilith agreed to dress up as a witch, and they headed to Tsukasa's home for the Halloween party. At Tsukasa's home, Yuri and Lilith showed off their costumes, Yuri as a sage and Lilith as a dragon. Tsukasa loved the fantastic costumes and imagined a story of a dragon awakened by a sage's love. Fujisaki thanked them for coming and complimented their past year's snacks. Yuri shared that Lilith made their costumes, earning Lilith praise for her skills. Yuri mentioned Lilith choosing the green color for the stone, surprising him. Lilith explained that green represented gentleness and kindness, her favorite traits. Tsukasa gave them flowers, and unbeknownst to Fujisaki, they observed her discreetly. Fujisaki, questioned by Tsukasa, wondered if she should dress up. Following Tsukasa's signal, her maids dressed Fujisaki as a princess. Tsukasa loved the transformation, declaring it the best and emphasizing Fujisaki's role as her butler. Lilith was surprised to see Fujisaki in such attire, and Yuri thought it suited her well. After a day filled with fun, as they headed home, Tsukasa reflected on the enjoyable time, acknowledging the discomfort she caused Fujisaki. Fujisaki denied any discomfort, and Tsukasa appreciated her tolerance of her selfishness, expressing gratitude. Tsukasa pondered future costume ideas, leaving Fujisaki pleasantly surprised by the suggestion. After a few days, Tsukasa catches up with Yuri as he leaves school, handing him some photos from the Halloween party. Yuri is surprised, mentioning that he heard her butler didn't want photos. Tsukasa assures him she won't miss a chance for photos and includes pictures of Yuri and Lilith. Tsukasa notes that Lilith didn't pick him up today, and Yuri explains that she's likely busy handling all the household tasks since she's the only maid he has. Tsukasa reflects on the bond between Yuri and Lilith. Upon reaching home, Lilith is busy with chores, and a delivery arrives with a letter that seems to concern her. Meanwhile, Yuri contemplates the special bond he shares with Lilith, cherishing the memories they've created. He wonders about Lilith's recent behavior, finding her less suspicious and more like a trustworthy presence in his life. Eager to see her, he hurries home. As Yuri arrives, he notices Lilith acting strangely, hiding something behind her back. Suspicious, he questions her, and Lilith, in turn, suggests he wash his hands first before explaining. During dinner, Yuri senses something amiss, finding the dish bland and Lilith looking sad. She begins reminiscing about the first time she cooked for him when she arrived at the mansion. Lilith reveals that she received a message instructing her to return to where she was before coming to the mansion. Yuri, shocked and upset, learns that Lilith had been in the mansion without anyone's knowledge. Despite Yuri's suspicion and the fact that he doesn't fully understand who Lilith is, he becomes emotional, expressing how she made his heart race, helped him not feel alone, and taught him to enjoy life. Yuri refuses to let her go until he finds out who she truly is. Lilith, moved by Yuri's feelings, discards the message and admits to being his maid, bringing great relief and happiness to Yuri as he embraces her, grateful that she's staying with him. In school, the teacher checks if the students have completed their graphs, and Tsukasa notices Yuri's work. During lunch, Yuri confides in Tsukasa about his constant thoughts of his maid, Lilith, realizing he can't shake off these feelings. Tsukasa advises him to talk to Lilith and share his concerns, suggesting she might help him navigate through his emotion. Yuri opens up about Lilith's impact on him since she arrived at the mansion and how she makes him curious, happy, and somewhat suspicious. He finds himself unable to look away from her, and every thought of her makes his heart race. Tsukasa, witnessing Yuri's struggle, humorously experiences a nosebleed. Yuri expresses genuine care for Lilith, and Tsukasa identifies it as love. This revelation surprises Yuri, who describes Lilith's traits and actions as both suspicious and endearing. Yuri details the intensity of his feelings, sharing his confusion and worries about being sick. Tsukasa reassures him that what he's experiencing isn't an illness but a powerful emotion of love. She emphasizes the importance of treasuring such feelings, even if they bring pain. On his way home, Yuri grapples with the concept of love. Lilith welcomes him, teasingly questioning why he's home early. However, Yuri seems distant and ignores her attempts to engage. Lilith grows concerned, asking if he's unwell, but Yuri dismisses it, leaving Lilith puzzled. At school, Yuri confesses to Tsukasa that he doesn't understand love despite reading books on the subject. Tsukasa proposes discussing it further at her place, assuring him she'll help him comprehend the complexities of love. Upon arriving at Tsukasa's home, Yuri is introduced to her mother and feels a sense of displacement, reminiscent of past experiences. While walking through an alley, Yuri presents Tsukasa with a gift from Lilith, emphasizing the reliability of his maid. They enjoy a tea party, praising Lilith's culinary skills. As they ponder the worth of love, Tsukasa suggests exploring her romance novel collection, but Fujisaki intervenes, citing rules about borrowing books. As Yuri returns home, still grappling with the concept of love, and is welcomed by Lilith, who seems unusually happy. The following day at school, the teacher assigns a drawing task, allowing students to choose their subjects. Yuri asks Lilith if he can draw her true nature, to which she jokingly agrees. Yuri, unexpectedly serious, points out details like Lilith's moles, leading to an embarrassed reaction from Lilith. As Yuri prepares to draw her, Lilith suggests posing for a better representation. As she will let him see her however he would like, she gives various poses. Yuri says that he wants to draw her just as she is. Lilith asks does he means naked, but to her surprise, he meant sitting down on a chair. Yuri says that's the Lilith he always sees. As Lilith wonders, the way he thinks of her isn't necessarily who she is, as she might look completely different when he doesn't see her. Yuri says that it indeed is suspicious, but no matter how she looks, he will find her, and she is herself. There is no one as suspicious as she is. As Yuri completes her drawing, Lilith compliments him on his talent for art. But Yuri says that it's a no, as it's not as beautiful as it looks, as she is more sensual, and she looks nothing like this. He erases all his drawings and orders Lilith that he is going to draw her more, and that he will draw until he is satisfied. After a couple of drawings, Yuri is exhausted, and Lilith points out that he has bags under his eyes, for which Yuri says that he is still not done with his drawing. Lilith says that it is because she's so beautiful that he can't draw her and tries to joke about it all. To her surprise, Yuri says that he thinks he lost sleep thinking about her. As Lilith asks how much he lost his sleep for, he says that he doesn't know, and he was thinking about how to draw her the whole time he was in bed. Before he knew it, it was morning. Lilith gets worried. She says that she will take responsibility tonight to put him to sleep. At night, she puts a healing candle on to give him a good night's rest. Yuri says that it does smell nice, but she smells nicer, which embarrasses Yuri. She sits beside him, saying that in that case, would he like to place his head on her lap, and if he would like his scent, they may help him sleep better, which he denies, saying that Lilith's leg will go numb and he is worried about her sleep too. Lilith offers a hot cup of milk and music for him to sleep, but none of these are successful. Lilith suggests that she sleeps next to him, trying to joke around, but Yuri says that he wants to sleep with her and thinks that he can sleep if she is with him. Lilith says that she is just a maid, which greatly saddens Yuri. Seeing this, Lilith sleeps beside Yuri, saying that he thinks that he can fall asleep now. Yuri says that he doesn't know, asking why is she in this mansion, and he wants to learn more about her. He thinks about her so much all day that he can't sleep. Even though she is so close to him now, she won't tell him about herself. There is so much he doesn't know about her, and he is always worried. Lilith says that there is nothing to worry about. Hearing the healing song from Lilith's cute voice, Yuri falls asleep, as if it's the lullaby his mother used to sing for him. As he tries to remember his mother, he falls asleep as Lilith bids goodnight to Yuri. The next morning, Yuri enters the room, saying that he slept well, thanks to Lilith, although it was her fault he couldn't sleep. Lilith presents breakfast to Yuri, which greatly surprises him. He says that he can't remember what happened right before he fell asleep. He remembers feeling nostalgic and asks Lilith about it, for which she says that she wonders what it is. Yuri gets angry, saying that she is dodging his question again. And what if he can't sleep again? He is going to have her sleep with him again, but Lilith says that she will be the one who ends up sleep deprived. At school, Yuri is given the award and a round of applause for drawing Lilith. Yuri making goes on to win an award in the competition. As Yuri woke up, and a strange dream lingered about a girl who turned out to be Lilith. Despite thinking she had the day off, Lilith insisted on attending to Yuri's morning duties and preparing breakfast. Confused and intrigued by the dream, Yuri questioned Lilith about her plans, and she reassured him she would manage his morning routine. Yuri couldn't shake the dream's memory. In the study room, Yuri found Lilith wearing casual clothes, prompting surprise and curiosity. Wondering if she had a date, Yuri jokingly teased her. Lilith, picking up on the playful banter, asked if she could genuinely take the day off. Yuri, in a surprisingly understanding manner, granted her a break, emphasizing the importance of a master allowing their servants time off. Lilith appreciated the gesture and expressed her intention to enjoy the break. As Lilith strolled through town, she contemplated how to spend her free time. Drawn by a delightful aroma, she discovered a bakery and decided to buy sweetbread for Yuri. The friendly owner offered her a sample, and Lilith enjoyed the delicious treat. Hearing an inexplicable voice, Lilith glanced around but found nothing unusual. Pondering Yuri's well-being, she hoped he had a good meal and encountered no trouble. Fujisaki, Tsukasa's butler, joined Lilith at a cafe, questioning her concern for Yuri on her supposed day off. Lilith explained she never worried about Tsukasa, attributing it to their long-standing bond. Fujisaki suggested that Lilith open her heart, believing Yuri would reciprocate. Lilith, expressing her past loneliness and fear from her academy days, admired Fujisaki and Tsukasa's relationship, yearning to become like them. Meanwhile, Yuri overheard Lilith's conversation with Fujisaki, sensing a hidden aspect. Feeling a strong emotion, he followed Lilith discreetly. Along the way, Yuri witnessed a touching scene of a mother in the restaurant singing a lullaby. Lilith returned home with gifts, and Yuri, observing her, sensed an unusual intensity in her eyes. Convinced there was a secret, he questioned Lilith about her talk with Tsukasa's butler, suspecting she was withholding something important. As Lilith recognized that Yuri was following her, Yuri said that she was dressed cuter than ever when she left the house. He always saw her in her maid costume around him, and it wasn't fair. He questioned who she was meeting and why it wasn't for him. He wondered if she was discussing telling him something important, perhaps about how she met him in the past. He remembered a little bit about when he was little and his parents brought a girl to this mansion. She looked nothing like she does now, but that girl was her, wasn't she? The song she sang in her mother's space, she sang it for him, didn't she? Lilith said she was worried he might not remember even if she told him, and she would not bring it up. Yuri took Lilith's hand, saying that he was going to remember everything about her that he had forgotten. He told her not to be so sad, and Lilith put her head on Yuri. The next day, as Lilith found Yuri was not in his bed, she found him in the garden. She asked why he was up so early, to which he asked for his hand, made a ring from a flower, and wore it to Lilith. Yuri said that it didn't work as he thought he might remember more about her if he did something he did that day. Lilith suggested they get ready now as they would be late for school. Yuri said to continue it when he got home, realizing it. Lilith got greatly embarrassed. In school, as Yuri met Tsukasa seeing how Yuri was happy asked about her happiness at home. Lilith thought she didn't want the flower ring to get pale and was keeping it as a bookmark for some letters. Meanwhile, after school, Tsukasa asked Yuri if maybe they had made some progress in the relationship since then. Yuri thought that he was so busy trying to remember Lilith that he had completely forgotten. Tsukasa asked about the past as she wanted to hear anything that happened to them. Yuri said that they slept together, making Tsukasa faint. She woke up, asking when he confessed. Yuri got confused, greatly shocking Tsukasa. Tsukasa asked if he slept with her without even confessing, and Yuri insisted it was not love or romance. Tsukasa realized that he was in love with his maid, and Yuri thought about it, realizing his suspicion was love. Yuri ran home, thinking it was because he was always so anxious over what he didn't know about Lilith. Lilith was anxious too, thinking he might not remember her, and he thought she was suspicious this whole time, and he still did. He had to tell her right now. She rested at home while gasping, telling him that he was in love with her and that he loved her. His eyes followed her, and he loved her voice when she woke him each morning and her gentle voice when she sang him lullabies. He loved her smile and her amused laughter. He loved her beautiful eyes that drew him in with their sparkle. He reached home, approached her, and said that he loved everything about her, greatly embarrassing Lilith. But they were interrupted by a girl, and Yuri asked who she was. The girl said she had some business with the maid there, and told Lilith to leave the mansion and return to their place at once, Lilith recognizing her as Natsume. Natsume said that she had come all that way to get her, to which Lilith replied that it was good to see her again. Lilith introduced the girl as Nakashima Natsume-san, her former classmate and former colleague. Natsume suggested skipping the introductions and just going home, but Lilith responded that she wasn't. Yuri was surprised, and he needed a proper explanation. Natsume mentioned sending Lilith a letter, telling her to come back to her mansion. Lilith countered, asking if she hadn't responded, saying that she wouldn't. Natsum got angry, stating that it wasn't enough. She pointed out that her master was a child, not receiving payment, and now that she saw it in person, he was even more perplexing. She criticized the mansion for having nothing but problems and told Lilith to come home with her. Yuri asserted himself as the master of the mansion, requesting Natsum not to take Lilith. He realized Lilith was special to him, and he hadn't even expressed his feelings to her. Natsum dismissed Yuri as just a kid, questioning how someone like him could be a master. She insisted that staying there wouldn't do any good. Natsum argued that coming to her place would be better, with good pay, a dependable adult master, a superior mansion, and an improved reputation as a maid. Lilith would also be with her. Lilith firmly stated that she wouldn't go with her, no matter how many letters she received, and thanked her for coming before telling her to leave. Natsum got angry, claiming she understood Lilith's situation better. She accused Lilith of choosing a flimsy little shrimp over her. Yuri felt insulted, and Lilith defended him, saying he was not a shrimp. Natsum decided to watch for a while to see if Yuri was cut out to be Lilith's master and what Lilith liked about him. Natsum tested Yuri's education by asking him to explain the theory of relativity. Yuri admitted he didn't know, and Natsum criticized him, saying a master should have enough education and sensibility. Yuri pledged to study, and Lilith offered to help him. In the middle of their talk, Natsum kept saying that being a bit studious wasn't enough for Yuri to be a master, handling money was crucial. Yuri showed a piggy bank, saying he saved some money each month to buy Lilith a nice gift. Natsum wasn't convinced, saying Yuri's savings were too little and money was super important. Yuri then shared a broken lamb figurine, saying he wanted to use his savings for a great gift for Lilith. Lilith liked the idea. Things got more tense when Natsum accidentally broke a lamp. Yuri wanted her to stay back because of the broken glass, but Natsum said she was fine. Lilith called her a lazy cat. As they kept talking, Yuri was glad no one got hurt. Natsum asked why Yuri was so relieved. Lilith came in with a broom, defending Yuri and telling Natsum not to speak badly about him. Natsum insisted something was wrong with Yuri and the mansion, not believing Yuri was Lilith's master. Lilith thanked Natsum for worrying but said she wanted to decide for herself. Natsum was annoyed but said she was thankful and left. The next day, Yuri went to school and Natsum said she wasn't happy. Lilith started cleaning the house with a broom. Unexpectedly, Natsum wanted to help, saying their mansion had different maids for different jobs. She wondered about the tough tasks Lilith had to do alone. While taking a break, Natsum asked Lilith if doing all the work alone made her sad. Lilith said no, it was for the young master. Natsum thought Lilith worked hard, and the tasks weren't too hard for her. Thinking about Yuri, Lilith got ready for his return. Natsum, still not having a break, thought the problem was Yuri. Lilith noticed Yuri was sweaty and teased him about eagerly waiting for her. Yuri said he couldn't help but run home, thinking about Lilith and his love for her. Natsum was surprised by Yuri's honest talk and remembered a person who had kindly patted her before. Natsum, seeing Lilith embarrassed, was greatly surprised to see the strange face of her. Lilith asked if something was wrong, to which she denied as Natsum was having chips. She thought that it was the first time that she had ever seen Lilith like that. As Yuri sat beside Natsum and asked if she was a maid, as he couldn't picture her doing anything that was maid-like and he hadn't seen it, and she had been eating snacks before dinner. Natsum angrily asked what snacks had to do with anything and didn't see her clothes as she was a maid no matter how she looked. Yuri said that if it's for sure, to which she got angry and Natsum said to watch this but she utterly failed in doing chores. Yuri said that she didn't have to force herself if she couldn't do it, to which she said that it wasn't like she couldn't as she picked up the bucket of water but slipped down with the bucket. Lilith, dripping her all out and on the floor, heard Natsum say that she needed to get this place clean, but Lilith smiled and said that it felt nostalgic about it as Natsum was bad at chores and she would always mess up, and she would help her each time as Natsum remembered that once Lilith came in to help her this is that thanks to her she had gotten good at doing chores, and for which Natsum apologized saying that she could do anything other than chores, so Yuri suggested that he thinks that the two must take a shower as they are drenched. Natsum said that but they haven't cleaned up, for which Yuri ordered them that to take care of themselves as they will smell bad if they stuck and they will catch a cold. Lilith said if Natsum would like to take a bath with her as she teased her as Natsum got embarrassed and agreed to it. In the bath, as they had their talk, Lilith apologized to her, saying that she had been hard on her earlier, to which Natsum said that she was the one who did it. Lilith expressed how happy she was that she came here. Natsum teased by laughing, saying that she may not have noticed it, but she figured it out. She used to think that he was a terrible master, tying her down to this dull mansion and troubling her all the time. However, the fact that Lilith made when he kept saying that he loved her didn't trouble her. She seemed happy. Natsum pointed out that Lilith looked like an open book, greatly embarrassing her. Natsum thought that Lilith was so happy, and she started smiling at her too. Somehow, that made her happy too. Although she had to admit it, the young master was a good one. After the bath, Yuri asked what they had been talking about in the bath for so long, to which they answered that it was a grown-up talk. As Lilith entered Natsume's room, she invited him to the cookies party but couldn't find Natsume. She noticed that Natsume had been reading a magazine on Christmas gifts. At school, Tsukasa asked Yuri if he had made any progress with Lilith since the last time, to which Yuri thought that he hadn't told Tsukasa anything about the help she gave him. He told her that he had been able to tell Lilith that he loved her. Tsukasa became happy, congratulated him, and asked what happened after that, imagining things must have changed quite a bit since then. Yuri told her that nothing had changed as they had a new member of the family. Tsukasa initially misunderstood but was corrected by Yuri. Tsukasa mentioned that the mansion had been livelier earlier thanks to Natsume, but it seemed that she didn't think very highly of him, and she wanted to be friends with Natsume too since she loved Lilith after all. Tsukasa misunderstood it and said that it was most definitely a rival in love. As Natsume waited outside the school, she sneezed and asked what was taking that brat so long. She recognized the girl beside Yuri, got angry, and asked if he had a secret girlfriend even though he said that he loved Lilith. She insisted that Yuri should take Lilith home. Fujisaki came from behind, and Tsukasa told Yuri that Natsume was a necessary part of any love story, and this kind of messy drama was what she liked, finding it fun. Meanwhile, Fujisaki came from behind and dragged Tsukasa out, and Natsume recognized her as the one famous for being the worst student at the academy. Natsume got worried that she might think she was trying to pick a fight with her. Natsume said that she hadn't seen her, but as she saw Yuri in front of her, she said that she was there to take him home. On their way home, Natsume teased Yuri about Lilith's Christmas gift. Yuri asked Natsume why she had come, and she mentioned wanting to say goodbye. Natsume hinted at Lilith's possible Christmas wishes, causing Yuri some trouble. As they walked, some boys confronted Yuri, but Natsume intervened, scaring the boys away. Yuri thanked her, and Natsume revealed she needed Yuri's help. Upon reaching home, Lilith wondered why Natsume was picking up Yuri without informing her. Yuri thanked Natsume for saving him from trouble, and she asked for his help. As they went home, in the alley Lilith, eavesdropping, found Yuri and Natsume arguing about Lilith's charms. Yuri complimented Lilith's childlike charm, while Natsume praised her mature side. Lilith felt relieved they were getting along. As Yuri and Natsume planned a surprise Christmas party for Lilith, Lilith felt a bit sad when Yuri mentioned attending Tsukasa's party. Natsume suggested a Christmas outing for Lilith and Yuri. During dinner, Lilith expressed excitement about Christmas, but Yuri mentioned plans to attend Tsukasa's party, making Lilith a bit sad. Natsume proposed an outing for Lilith, and she thanked her. At night, Lilith decided to give Yuri a present and discussed it with Tsukasa-san. Tsukasa-san shared romantic ideas for Christmas, overwhelming Yuri. At home, Lilith expressed concern for Yuri's well-being. Yuri assured her he knew his way to Tsukasa's house. As they left, Tsukasa and Fujisaki reached the mansion and Yuri informed Tsukasa about the successful first mission and discussed plans for the Christmas party. Fujisaki and Tsukasa prepared for the party. Fujisaki assigned tasks, and Yuri appreciated her thoughtfulness. He noticed the deep bond between Tsukasa and Fujisaki. At the market, Natsume tried to apologize to Lilith but ended up thanking her for the day. Lilith encouraged Natsume to enjoy Christmas with someone special, referring to the Christmas special in the magazine. Natsume dodged the question, and Lilith suggested she should have fun on Christmas Day. Having fun in the market, Lilith expressed her happiness, and Natsume commented that the hair clips looked good on her. Lilith reciprocated, saying that cute things suited Natsume as well. Natsume, feeling embarrassed, said that Lilith was cute too, to which Lilith responded that Natsume was embarrassing her. Lilith then presented a box to Natsume, who opened it to find a pen. Natsume mentioned that she had planned to figure out what Lilith might like and buy it that day. Since Natsume was thinking of returning to the mansion soon, Lilith suggested using the pen to write her a letter once in a while, and Natsume promised to do so. Lilith thanked Natsume for the gift as they enjoyed a pleasant moment together. As they reached the mansion, Natsume couldn't believe they had kept it so dark, but suddenly the lights were turned on, revealing beautiful decorations. Natsume found that Lilith had already gone inside, and she ran towards it. To her surprise, all the members were there to greet her. Yuri explained that he had already approached Lilith and told her about the surprise, confessing that he couldn't keep the secret from her. He apologized to Natsume for the late intrusion and mentioned he would apologize to her again tomorrow. Lilith reassured Yuri that she had come up with the idea to ensure they wouldn't disappoint her. Natsume, still in shock, fell, wondering what was happening. Natsume, noticing the presence of Fujisaki, suggested that they should all enjoy the celebration together and make the most of the great day. Despite the unexpected turn of events, they proceeded to have a lot of fun, and Lilith and all the members were happy with the surprise. After Fujisaki and Tsukasa about to leave, Fujisaki acknowledged that the young lady seemed to have enjoyed it and thanked them for their work. She expressed hope that they would continue being Tsukasa's friends. Yuri assured her that they would and hoped she would come by again. As they bid farewell, Natsum fell asleep, and Lilith complimented Yuri on a fantastic job. Yuri, in turn, praised Lilith for her impressive act. Yuri asked if Lilith had picked out Natsum's hair accessory, to which Lilith agreed, saying it suited her well. Yuri expressed certainty that Natsum would appreciate it. Lilith then inquired about Yuri's gift, and he revealed a Santa sock he had made with all his effort. He hoped that Natsum would like it, leaving the sock on the table with a letter of thanks. As always, as the home is sparkling with light, Lilith is doing the cleanup, and she said that it really went quickly thanks to Yuri's and Natsum's help. She should prepare tea before they get home from shopping. At the mansion, a man enters the house, and Lilith recognizes him as her previous master. The scene shifts towards Yuri and Natsum, where Natsum complains about why Lilith asked them to buy so much stuff, for which Yuri says, "Why is she complaining about it? And she was the one who said that she wanted to go shopping because she didn't want to clean." Natsum, feeling a bit shy, expresses her gratitude to Yuri for helping her share her feelings with Lilith. She confesses that expressing emotions used to make her uncomfortable, making Yuri's encouragement quite surprising for her. As she wipes her face, Natsum decides that once she returns home, she will make an effort to express her feelings to the person she cares about the most. Yuri, somewhat puzzled, questions whether she loves Lilith. Natsum, blushing, clarifies that she does love Lilith, but in a different way than the love she has for her master. She elaborates on the various forms of love, such as familial and friendship, which Yuri may not fully grasp, urging Yuri to move quickly as it's getting cold. Natsum heads back home. At Lilith's residence, she kindly offers a cup of tea to a man who has come to check on her. He reassures Lilith that there's no need to be tense and mentions that he was in the area, wanting to see how she was doing. The man apologizes for any inconvenience Lilith may have faced while taking care of Natsum. Lilith responds calmly, informing him that Natsum is currently out for some shopping. The man then inquires about Lilith's assistance to Natsum, and Lilith commends Natsum's help with cleaning and laundry. Expressing satisfaction, the man apologizes once again for any trouble caused by Lilith's supposed selfishness. Lilith reassures him, and the man compliments the well-maintained mansion. He acknowledges Lilith's dedication and curiosity about her connection to the mansion, hinting at a possible connection to her past. Lilith reveals that when she was a child, her parents disappeared, and she struggled to find a home. Eventually, Yuri's parents, who were close friends with her own, extended their warm hospitality, offering her a place to stay. In a flashback, a young Yuri affectionately approaches Lilith, who tries to conceal her eyes, claiming others find them unsettling. Contrary to her belief, Yuri admires her eyes, describing them as pretty and sparkling like stars. In the present, Lilith shares with her master how the people in the mansion embraced her like a true family. A year later, she decided to attend a boarding school for servants with the support of Yuri's parents. After completing her studies, Lilith returned to serve at Yuri's mansion. The tragic news of Yuri's parents' accident reinforced her commitment to protect Yuri and the mansion. As Yuri and Natsum arrive, Natsum is surprised to see the man and questions his presence. He explains that he was worried since she wasn't coming home. Natsum insists that he didn't need to come, as she was about to return home. Yuri, curious about the man, learns from Lilith that he is the master of her previous mansion. The man introduces himself to Yuri, who promptly stands in front of Lilith, asserting that she is his maid and he won't allow anyone to take her away. The man laughed, saying that it was all right, as he was not going to take her back with him, which greatly relieved Yuri. The man told Natsum to get ready. As they were about to depart, the man thanked them for taking care of Natsum, for which Natsum said that she was the one to take care of him. The man pleaded with Yuri to take good care of Lilith, for which he said that he would do so, and he asked if they could come to visit again sometime, as he was sure that Natsum would be missing her too, for which Lilith said, of course, and asked for Yuri's permission, who said, of course, please come whenever they would like. As they departed, Lilith seemed worried as she said that she made dinner for 3. Yuri said that if that's all, she had scared it, and he would eat the one, and he could eat as much of her delicious cooking as she could make, which greatly embarrassed Lilith. At the dining table, Lilith said that it was kind of quiet at the dinner table in the absence of Natsum, and she didn't realize it would be so much quieter without Natsum. As they were eating dinner, Lilith said that it hadn't been just the two of them for a while, and it was kind of exciting, but the conversation wasn't about to take off, as Yuri asked Lilith for a second. In the kitchen, Lilith thought that it had been so long since they'd been only the two of them, and she had forgotten how to converse properly. But there was so much that she needed to tell him, as she brought a second to Yuri and asked if he would like to go out tomorrow. When Yuri playfully asked if it was a date, Lilith, feeling bashful, admitted that, yes, it was indeed a date. Yuri, delighted by the confirmation, expressed his happiness. The next day, as they moved out for the date, Lilith said that she had prepared the best as it was her first date, for which Yuri complimented her, saying that she looked beautiful, which greatly embarrassed her. Lilith said that she would like to go wherever she would like, and Lilith said that anything is fun if she is with him, and why don't they stop by a cafe for some hot cocoa. On the way, as Tsukasa and Fujisaki in the car. As Tsukasa said, why does she have so many lessons when it's a holiday season? For which Fujisaki said that she had a lot to get through today, and then she was going to have vacations overseas with her parents. As Tsukasa saw Lilith and Yuri out there, and she asked Fujisaki if it was a date, for which Fujisaki said that it was pretty sure that they were just shopping. Tsukasa told her to look at them as they were having so much fun and suggested that they should follow them. Fujisaki said that they couldn't as they had piano lessons. As the scene shifted towards the cafe where Lilith said that it looked like it might snow if it gets colder, and Yuri told Lilith that there was somewhere he wanted to go after this and if it was alright, for which she agreed to and asked where he would like to go with her as they departed to the gravestone of Yuri's parents to pay respect. Yuri said that he was afraid to come here by himself but now with her. He asked Lilith if mom and dad were doing well together in heaven, for which she said that of course the two of them were watching over him, as Yuri saw in the sky. He said that she was right as he didn't have to worry as he had Lilith as Yuri departed, as Lilith assured Yuri's parents that they didn't need to worry as she would take care of him. In the town, Yuri told Lilith that she looked beautiful gazing at the light, and Yuri said that he loved her. As the pretty snow fell down, Lilith asked what kind of love does he mean, for which Yuri said that he didn't know it yet but he wanted to find it out moving forward with her, as Lilith asked him if he remembered that he asked that she was with him because he was her master, but she confessed that she didn't know why she felt warm with him and she wanted to be by his side, not because he was her master but because he was him, and she didn't know yet if she could respond to his love, but she adored him all the same. As Yuri thanked her, Lilith thought that it must have always been that way ever since back then and from now on too. She hoped that Yuri continued to love him even after he knows everything about her. As the snow was getting heavier, and Lilith told that they should get home, and from now on, that's all she wanted to wish for. The next day, amazed by the piled up snow, Yuri planned to surprise Lilith by making a snowman. To his surprise, Lilith had already made one, resembling the two of them. Yuri playfully mentioned that he was going to make a lot of kids out of snow, causing Lilith to feel embarrassed. He took out his gloves, and both of them blushed as their hands touched. Lilith, feeling shy, suggested getting some warm water. As Yuri held her hands close to his cheeks, he remarked that her hands were freezing. Yuri mentioned that it was starting to feel warm, and Lilith, still embarrassed, attempted to change the subject by suggesting they go inside. Yuri agreed, and they both went indoors. If you loved this recap, then do subscribe this channel and hit the like button.